Today we're setting sail, we're leaving the island. It was a big blow for the payment.
We were approached by them for a partnership and we turned it down.
We're sailing good, bad, and ugly. 3 years ago, we bought our boat off Craigslist for $5,000. I'm Kristen, and this is Matt. We are known to break the rules and do things a little less traditional. Hit subscribe to join the adventure. Thanks to our patrons for keeping us going. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. Today we're setting sail, we're leaving the island, we're out of propane and food, and there wasn't very many fish to catch out here to eat. So we're heading back, and hopefully, I mean, it looks like a beautiful day, so everything should go pretty well. I'm pretty excited about this sail. It's gonna be a beautiful, easy sail.
Yeah, we're gonna go rip it down, try to get some full sails up because we're still kind of shaking out our rig from our big refit that we were doing. So we're still trying to make sure nothing's breaking. We're not going out there trying to break stuff, but we're going out there making sure nothing's gonna break.
Pretty busy anchorage, but we sailed off and the winds are really light, so pretty easy peasy. Would you want to change your new beautiful boat for that boat?
In a heartbeat.
Oh no!
In a New York Minute.
That's rude. Can't say that about your own boat. Now bad things are going to happen. Karma's going to hit.
Come chameleon. Good day for you guys because you don't have to deal with any wind noise. Not the best day for me because I don't got too much wind. But I'm practicing some sailing downwind, some sail trim, even though I won't begin to do too much of that. But I like this because you get to work on some new things. You get to see how that big head sail flops around and slams my block all around on my deck. You get to see like the little differences that letting your boom sheet in and out makes. So even though it's light wind, I still feel like I'm in school today. I'm learning a lot about how this rig runs downwind, and I'm enjoying it.
You never stop learning while you're sailing.
Never stop learning ever in life.
And just like that, guys, we're already arriving to our destination. It wasn't that far. Pretty slow, easy ride, nice and silent. Now Matt's gonna pretty much try to sail into Anchorage, and we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, it was a slow ride, like that song by Foghorn Leghorn. Slow ride, take it easy.
Matt, how much singing are you gonna do in this episode?
I like to sing. I'm a singer. But yeah, I'm gonna sail up. I'm just gonna sail up and put the anchor down. Sail off anchor, sail on anchor. I'm trying to be a sailor out here.
You don't have to say you're trying. You are. You're actually sailing.
Well, I might raving speed this catamaran.
Why?
Just for the smell of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't like catamaran people around here. You know, I got a road joke about catamaran man. Any man that drives a catamaran is a lot like the catamarans themselves. Usually, you know, a little bit of money involved, Usually pretty good looking, but they just ain't got nothing in the middle, if you know what I'm saying. Ain't nothing but air between
You're just a hater.
Jealousy
Looks bad on you, Matt.
Green ain't my color?
No.
Okay, so I painted my chain like this. Every link that has paint on it is 10 feet that I'm out or whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 100 feet. I know we're in about 20 feet of water right here, so we did a quick 5-to-1 scope. It's usually pretty muddy. Of course, as we all know, I never slip, I never fall. I will be checking my anchor manually just to make sure she's stuck down there, but I think we're good. Couldn't be happier with the way this sail went.
Now that we're here at Isleta, we thought it's been about 3 months since we have owned our brand new dinghy, and we think we're finally ready to give it a good, honest review.
Yes, and first things first, we want to say full disclosure. I know you didn't see the sponsored content or whatever it's called in the little corner over there. We did not get sponsored by Highfield. We were approached by them for a partnership, and we turned it down. We turned it down for a couple of reasons, but the main reason being we wanted to be able to give an honest review when you're kind of going by what your experience is rather than we're in a partnership with this company. I would feel less inclined to say anything negative about them. Not that there's a ton negative about it, but you know, if something were to break or I didn't like it as much or it was just kind of ugly or stinky, if they gave us a free one, I would be less inclined
You would avoid bad things.
Yeah, I would just avoid saying the bad stuff, and I don't think that would be fair to you. Definitely not what this channel's about, and that's not what we started off doing. So, you know, we wanted to bear the brunt, bear the burden, bear the price, the same price that you're going to bear if you go out and buy one of these dinghies. So that's the reason we turned down that sponsorship. The dinghy that we have is the Highfield UL 290. It's the 9-foot, 5-inch model. We got one a little bit shorter for our needs. But speaking of our needs, basically what helped us make this decision was 5 categories that we looked for in the dinghy. If you're new to our channel and you haven't seen our old videos, you don't know about our old black dinghy, the BBD, the old gangster one. But when we bought that dinghy, we only had one category to choose from, and that was price. We were super broke at the time, so we just pretty much had to get the cheapest dinghy we could find that would float, and that's what we did. Now that we've been cruising for almost 3.5, 4 years now, we've learned how important a dinghy is. We've struggled with that cheaper one at some spaces and really enjoyed the cheaper one. So we're gonna come in today and give you the breakdown of what helped us choose the dinghy, and hopefully it kind of helps you out. So the first category that we really wanted to look into for this was performance. As we all know, the old one didn't really perform that great. The further and further we got out in life, the longer dinghy runs I'm making, the more fun I want to be able to have in the dinghy, the more groceries and stuff I want to be able to put into it. And so I was really looking for performance first. The number one thing about performance for me was speed. I wanted something that could go from point A to point B quickly, and this dinghy definitely does that. It's much faster. It's probably 30% faster than the old one. The old one would go about 13 knots, maybe like 11 to 12 with both of us in it. This one goes like 18, and by myself it'll go 20 plus knots. So this thing screams, and it actually rides through the waves really well. It has really good stability through the waves. The other one, whenever it hit a wave, you'd feel the full brunt of it. It would like wobble the whole boat. It would shake the transom. Everything was kind of bad when you'd hit waves. This one with the rigid V hull kind of punches through those waves, and the stability is so much better when you're in it riding, and the speed's much better as well. Another part of the performance category is durability. You're going to want something strong that's going to last when you're spending a lot of money and you're going to plan to leave your home country for a couple of years, you know, 3 to 5 years. You're going to want something that's going to last and take care of you over that amount of time. So we're kind of new with this dinghy. We haven't tested it all out yet. It seems really good. It comes really high rated with the Hypalon, which is supposed to do pretty well in the Caribbean heat. But there has been a few things that I've noticed that give me some trepidation that there's really no other way to say it, but just really cheap and poor quality construction. We're gonna jump into some really quick cons that we found out about this dinghy, which is it's not cheap, it's a high price dinghy, and some things that have given me something to think about as far as how long this thing's gonna last. All right, so the first con is the glue. One of my sticky pads on the floor came loose. That came off like the first 3 or 4 days. And what I thought initially was maybe I spilled some gasoline on it and it kind of ate away the glue, but it didn't eat away any of the pads all around it, so it would have had to been a miracle, and it keeps deteriorating. This glue isn't even sticky, it's kind of boo-boo. Con number 2 is this bag right here. I was pretty hyped on this bag because it gives me some storage, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. It slides over the seat, but the zipper is terrible. The stitching is pretty bad. The zipper always comes off, and
you're coming from a seamstress, you guys know I sew a lot. Yeah. It's pretty cheaply made.
It's not a hundreds of dollar dinghy, it's a thousands of dollar dinghy. You know, you get several thousands in a row to get this, and that's pretty cheap. And if they skimped on that, if they couldn't get that done right, kind of makes you think, what else did they not get done right? All right, so the second category we came to here, and maybe the first category for some people, it definitely was for us back in the day, was price. Our old dinghy was $800. This dinghy was $3,500. So that's a pretty major difference. And what I'd like to get across here is that the other dinghy did last 3 years. It did its job perfectly fine. It wasn't as comfortable, it wasn't as fast, it definitely was not as good, but for the price difference and the price reflection, our old dinghy lasted us 3 years. So it basically cost me 80 cents a day to have that dinghy. This dinghy, assuming it lasts the next 3 years, is going to cost me $3.50 per day. So what that breaks down to in your day-to-day is, you know, the old dinghy was like a McChicken, and the new dinghy's like buying a gallon of gasoline or something like that every day. So it's quite a bit more, and the old one did its job. This is definitely an upgrade, but it's not necessarily, if you don't have the money, don't feel like you have to have the best dinghy on earth before you set on your adventure, because the old roll-ups, yeah, they kick it pretty hard and they can do you just as good.
So the next category is size and weight. Since living on our boat, we realized when we go on offshore cruises, you have to put the dinghy somewhere. You can't always drag it behind you. And so we do not have dinghy davits, and we prefer to put our dinghy up on the front of the boat. So since we have a cutter rig, we only have a certain amount of space. So that's why we got the 9.5 foot dinghy. It is rated for a 10 horsepower, but we do put a 15 horsepower on it and it works fine. Matt says, I'm gonna say Matt says in quotations, that they always rate them for the smaller amount to be safe. So on top of that, of the size being smaller for putting on top, it also is only 86 pounds, obviously without the motor, 86 pounds. So in that case, even I can lift this whole dinghy off the ground for the most part. It's a little difficult, but I can lift it up, and especially I can help it with a halyard and pull it up by myself onto the boat. The next category is comfort. Now, some people probably don't care about comfort, but I did. If I'm paying a big paycheck, I want to have comfort. So the tubes on this dinghy are 17-inch diameter, which means they're a lot bigger than our old one. The water is going to stay out of the boat more. In the old one, as you're going, if it's windy or anything, you constantly get splashed up on your butt, and nobody wants to be going out to the bar or the restaurant with a whole soaked butt. It's not a good vibe. So this one keeps this all the way dry. Even the shape of the bow is a little more, what would you call it, Matt?
Upward.
It shoots upward in the front, which also keeps splashes from the front going into waves, keeping that water out. Now, there is one con, I would say, in the comfort category, and because of the shape of the hull that rides great through the waves, it makes it a little wobbly. It's a little, since it's more of a triangle V, the weight is not dispersed as well as a flat bottom dinghy, and if you're drunk, you know, you step on the tube to get into the dinghy and then down on the floor. If you're drunk, not only if you're drunk, if you're not good at balance, I shouldn't just put it for drunk people. If your balance is off, you could easily tip this over. You could sit back, the other person could get up. It could, you know, you could fall out. So the very final thing is storage and accessories. Now, it's not very important, that's why it's at the bottom of the list, but it is something you'd like to know if you're paying that money. We do enjoy this. I know we talked about it earlier, but we do enjoy this option of having storage here. I might add, you know, some upgrades to this to make it, I'm gonna have to sew it and make it a little bit better, but having this storage here is good. It hangs just above there, so if there is water in the dinghy, it keeps it all dry, and it just works out for us. Another thing that I think is fun is this seat has a cup holder here. So you can drink your drink if you're going slowly. Obviously you can't drink if you're bashing through waves, but if you're just going around the beach or you're floating outside your dinghy having fun, you can put your drink here. Another thing that's really great is the paddles. A lot of dinghies have the paddles connect up top and then they just rest on top. This dinghy actually holds and stores the paddles down here out of the way and pretty much keeps them out of sight. The final items are what comes with it, the accessories. It comes with a foot pump so you can blow it up if you need to. A cool high-field waterproof bag, always are useful on a boat. Comes with a nice case, and inside the case comes your manual and a lot of little things like a whistle, compass keychain, a floating keychain, and also a repair kit.
Some of the quick cons here, I gotta be the Grinch that stole Christmas over here. Even though I'm being a little nitpicky now and I'm just kind of roasting for fun, I would say that this design for the pouch and the cup holder, clearly we can see a conflict of interest here. You know, I can do things pretty ghetto on my boat and I can cut corners, but even for me, I probably wouldn't have let that come off the assembly line like that. I would have looked and said, guys, how are they gonna get to the cup holder? So you have to choose. What could have simply, I help you out, Highfield, if any of the execs are watching this. What you would do here is just cut the hole out of the foam and hem that around so you could use the cup holder and the sack simultaneously. I think that'd be really great. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I go online and I see if they did make these newer upgrades. Maybe I got an old model. Maybe they got it fixed. Maybe old buddy that came up with that got fired and sent down to, like, you know, I don't know, the Zodiac warehouse or something. Also too, Kristen talked about the paddles. They come with these chocks here. They're already really rusty. They're already quite rusty. Obviously this wasn't a very high grade stainless steel that they used, so not entirely thrilled about that. This would be a you know, 3-month-old dinghy at this point, and my old ones on my $800 dinghy never looked like this after 3 years, so I don't know how that kind of fell through as well. But, you know, it's kind of sad. You guys could have got some higher grade stainless steel. I know you got it. Welcome back to Jerry Springer's Final Thoughts. What are your final thoughts on the dinghy mayhem?
Final thoughts is, it was a big blow for the payment of buying the dinghy, but I think we're going to be really happy with it in the long run. I'm really happy with it so far. It has a few cons, but nothing that horrible. I have so far really enjoyed the not getting wet factor.
So far I've been really happy. We're just starting the love affair with this new dinghy. Maybe in 5 years I'll have something else different to say. I'll say, wow, I was actually really doubting it and this thing's a tank. Or I'll say, actually I was right. All the glue came apart and we were swimming home one day. So who knows what the future holds. Alright guys, so since I've been talking about my dinghy all day, I forgot to take anything out of the freezer for dinner, so we're going to go ahead and jump in our dinghy, rip it about, I don't know, 2 miles to the bar tonight, and we're going to have an old date night. But I just got to say before we go, clock's ticking, sun's going down. I told Kristen, hey mama, you can't take all night to get ready, so she got this shawl on, and she said, don't worry, I'm not going to...
Shawl?
I don't know what it's called.
Not called a
She's going to tell you what it's called, but she said, don't worry about it. I'm not going to take long. This is a very versatile outfit, so I'm going to be ready in like 2 seconds. So, hey, tell them about the outfit, mama.
So, after living on a boat for 3-some years, 5? 4?
I don't even know anymore.
Okay, let's just say 4 to 5 years. You find out you don't have much storage. So I've been experimenting with clothing through those years, and this is one of the top items for boat life, I would say, for a woman, obviously. I mean, men can wear it too, but you can wear this in multiple different ways, and that's the key to garments that on boat life, that you have many different usages. First, you can wear it as a nice over your bikini. Go to the beach, you know, shades a little bit of shoulder, you're not showing too much skin. Then if you want to go to the bar, you know, the beach bar, you can tie this up. And now you got yourself a nice little dress. It can come in closer so you're not showing too much with a little bit of jewels. It looks actually kind of fancy. And then you can also change this item up the way I'm gonna wear it tonight, like this. And now I'm ready for the bar. And you can keep it off the shoulder if it's hot. It just is a very versatile item. So let's get on going. I'm ready for a drink. I hope they have mojitos.
I hope they got jalapeno poppers.
They probably do.
But seriously though, guys, stay tuned for this because the bar we're taking you to is like a real hardcore Puerto Rican bar. They got really cool chairs. You're not going to want to miss out on this. This is where I go if Kristen's being mean to me. I usually go and like flirt with the senoritas to make myself feel a little bit better.
You do not flirt with the senorita.
I do too because I'm a dirty dog when you ain't around.
What's going on, Matt?
Okay, aside from bird being the word, there's a bunch of little minnows that they're eating. They're just tearing them up. I'm gonna rip it through them.
No, no, Matt, no, no,
Your balance.
no, 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 no.
I'm gonna grab one.
Hey, you're on the video.
Be honest. Hey, say hi YouTube. Capitan. Dang guys, that was cold-blooded. So as you can see, we got homies, we got buddies that watch the channel out here in Puerto Rico, but they said, oh hey, hi Kristen. And they said, hola Capitan. I don't even know my name. I'm like such a second fiddler.
Sucks to suck. Very ladylike.
I thought you were gonna use that versatile scarf as like a rope.
You could. I could have tied this up and pulled myself in. Try your drink, Princessa.